Part 44. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 431. The competition begins. In Renping's mind, he has at least a 40% winning rate. But Lu Yun, who had heard about this at that time, shook his head. He didn't need to look to know that unless Yun 11 gave in, Renping had no chance of winning. That's exactly what happened. The battle was one-sided. Tao Ran crushed Renping without using Tianji Unpeak's sword skills. She has been thinking and practicing a lot recently. Wood spells, especially vine spells, are very easy to use in her hands, sometimes even easier than a sword. At this moment, Renping had just used a set of sword skills to chop down the flying giant vine. The vine was like a spiritual snake. Not only could it change its shape, size, direction, and movement at will, it also sprouted sharp vines. The tentacles can be long or retracted, and are extremely flexible. The vine was so weird and disorganized that it repeatedly disrupted half of his sword skills and caught his flaw several times, making him almost think that Tao could read minds and understand what he was doing. Think. Could this vine be Tao Buran's magic weapon? But didn't she use magic to transform this vine into spiritual power? How could he follow her will? Weren't the swords she used in competitions before? Renping was thinking too much and was accidentally touched by the tentacles of the giant vine. What the hell? What kind of operation is this? A string of violent currents passed through him and hit his body directly, causing him to almost convulse and fall to the ground. Everyone in the audience laughed out loud when they saw this, feeling that Renping was too weak. Some of them have suffered from this attack, but it's not so serious. What everyone didn't know was that the thunder power Tao Ran had just used was enough to knock down a 100-year-old tree. Tao Ran immediately stopped. "Senior brother, is it okay?" Renping blushed and quickly smoothed his blown hair. "It doesn't matter. I'm just not familiar with junior sister's tricks, so I was distracted." "Then senior brother, if you can't bear it, you must say it." "Junior sister, don't worry." The two fought together again. This time, Tao Ran would not be polite anymore. Humph, she didn't intend to give Renping a chance to speak at all. The spirit sword and the giant vine came together, causing Renping's silver robe to bloom and turn red, and then be burned to black by lightning. Finally, amidst Yan Yan's yelling, he fell heavily to the ground with black smoke like an overcooked roast duck. Tao Ran rushed forward and said, "Brother, I'm sorry, is it okay?" She immediately took out a pill. Yan Yan was too late and went up and swatted the pill out of Tao Ran's hand. "No need for you to be so kind." I couldn't hold it back." Tao Ran felt aggrieved. "Brother, I'm sorry." Renping exhaled and saw that Tao's eyes were red. He felt happy and thought that he could use his guilt to achieve what he wanted. "I'm fine. Junior sister, don't worry." But before Renping finished speaking, Yan Yan, who was furious over there, couldn't stand Tao Ran's hypocritical behavior, so she pushed him away and said, "Get away." Tao Ran's hand, which was originally supporting Renping, shook, paused, and then slowly retracted it. After hesitating, he finally closed his hand, bent it, and retracted it. His head was slightly lowered, his lips were trembling slightly, and his eyes were no longer there. "Look at Renping." "Brother, I'm sorry." She was about to turn around and leave when there was a sound behind her. It was Yan Yan who was pushed away by Renping, who was all injured. Both of them fell to the ground. Renping suppressed the sweet smell rising in his chest, found two pills and quickly swallowed them. While performing a cleansing spell, he forcibly raised his breath and rushed to Tao Ran. "Junior sister, don't leave." "Yan Yan, you are too messy. Why don't you apologize to junior sister quickly?" Renping was angry and anxious. He and Tao had finally made some progress. If the damn girl made such a move, the newly born love might be broken up? How good is this? Yan Yan was dumbfounded. Her senior brother actually fought with her for another woman? And this is the first time this woman has spoken? Have a grudge against yourself? He was also injured, had he forgotten? He's already injured like this, and he's still thinking about hooking up? Senior brother, are you sure you want to do this to me? Hurry up and apologize, junior sister, Renping spoke firmly, leaving no room for maneuver. Yan Yan couldn't stand it any longer, and ran away as soon as she shed tears. Renping apologized hurriedly and asked if he could go into the hall to rest. No, I have other things to do. Senior brother is injured, so we should go back quickly. Tao Ran's attitude suddenly changed. Renping's heart twitched and he was very angry. He also wanted to use the bitter meat trick. As soon as he took a breath, blood would flow out of his mouth. Tao Ran directly gave him a bottle of Zhigxia powder. I'll ask Divine Dr. Xue to come over and give senior brother a look later. Junior sister, my birthday will be in 3 days. Senior brother plans to invite a few familiar brothers and sisters to get together. Junior sister, you also come to Tianjian Peak to have fun. I remembered. Exactly. In the plot, Yun 11 also celebrated Renping's birthday. Let's talk about it. Tao Ran responded with a faint smile. Brother, come back quickly. After saying that, she left without looking back. People from the martial arts hall came, holding his arms one on the left and the other on the right, and sent him away directly. The 2 junior brothers who gave him away came back and told him that Renping couldn't hold it in any longer and started bleeding from the mouth. When he returned to Tianjian Peak, he didn't bother to heal his wounds first and started a big fight with Yan Yan. Tao Ran raised his eyebrows. That's good. One of the 2 people was heartbroken, the other had his good deeds ruined, and they blamed each other. Even if they could reconcile, they would inevitably be separated. 3 days later, Renping came to invite Tao Ran again. Tao Ran refused directly. She didn't want to go, otherwise she would have to give her a birthday gift, wouldn't she? Wouldn't it be nice to buy some delicious food with the saved spirit stones? She has recently occupied the small kitchen in the martial arts hall. That day, I used 3rd order mushrooms and 1st order quicksand chicken to make a fragrant soup base, prepared some spiritual vegetables, thinly sliced 2nd order yak meat and cooked it in a hot pot, and then roasted rabbit legs with spiritual fire. Not only she enjoyed herself so well that even the elders of the martial arts hall were lured here. Although the old man has been abstinent for hundreds of years, he still does not forget to make a tooth sacrifice every once in a while. He liked not having to go to a restaurant, so the 2 of them often ate in the kitchen. Tao Ran prepares the ingredients, and he is responsible for the spirit wine. How beautiful! Many people don't understand the happiness brought by steaming hot food. But Tao Ran really likes the process of eating and the satisfaction of being full. In this way, she will not forget that she is a real person. On the other side, Renping was disappointed. On his birthday, the master didn't show up. He only sent a gift and didn't even care about his injuries. Yun 11 is still in retreat, and seems to have forgotten the days of cultivation. Tao otherwise wouldn't have come. He was a little lonely. That day, when Yan Yan showed up with red eyes, he didn't want to talk to her. But Yan Yan said, "You have grown tired of the old so quickly. How sad will you be when your senior sister comes out?" There was a hint of coercion in these words, and Renping was immediately annoyed, but he could only coax him, saying that he was approaching Tao otherwise, just to have a good relationship. He even went to the ring for her. How could he bully her? If he was beaten like that by Tao, is it possible that he would still be tempted by him? Although Yan Yan was dubious about him, she still forced a smile. Due to her situation, she really had no choice. She cannot use her spiritual power and is now like a mortal. If she didn't take the initiative, her senior brother would be seduced away by the vixen sooner or later. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 432. Renping easily got the so-called Yun 11 secret from Yan Yan. In fact, Yan Yan doesn't have any big secrets, it's just a story about Yun 11 hurting his soul in the sex golden elixir secret realm. Senior brother, I heard that the spiritual energy in the secret forest is modeled, which is very scary, and there are also spirits that I have never seen before that can attack people's souls. Senior brother, senior sister has not shown up all the time. Could it be that something happened to her? The soul is injured. Could it be that the path has been cut off? That's why Master rarely visits senior sister recently. Yan Yan has a rich imagination, but Renping's focus is not on Yun 11. Dense forests, monsters, attacking souls, this is his focus. Yan Yan was frightened for a while, thanks to my senior sister for going to the secret realm on my behalf, otherwise I would have been the one who got hurt. Renping opened his mouth and looked at Yan Yan, feeling angry that he would not fight. He couldn't help but start his own calculations, wait a little longer, wait for his body to recover, wait for his cultivation to improve a little bit, he has to do something. In the following days, Yan Yan pestered Renping to help her with sect tasks. If her sect points are not enough, let alone participating in the secret realm 2 years later, she will be kicked out by Lu Yun. She couldn't even use her spiritual power, so the only one she could count on was Renping. So every few days Renping practiced, he would be interrupted by Yan Yan. And he was afraid that Yan Yan would talk nonsense in front of Yun 11 later, so he had no choice but to help. In this way, his cultivation progress is very slow. On the other hand, Taoran was just the opposite. The censor was brought back and she had double time. In the martial arts hall during the day, you can either watch others fight or fight by yourself, which is very inspiring. Pure practice in the incense burner at night will get twice the result with half the effort. In addition, she had to be trained by her second senior brother every day, and with double guidance from Lu Yun and Nian Bai, her progress was naturally rapid. Tired and fulfilled, but seeing her progress, she couldn't bear to stop. She has been encouraging herself to work harder and reach the perfection of the golden elixir as soon as possible, and then she will give herself a holiday. Until then, she will go out and have a good time. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye, and Taoran's late cultivation of Jindan began to loosen up. That day, she invited Lu Yun. Then she returned to Tianjian Peak under the cover of Lu Yun. As for Tao Buran, she received a mission from the Foreign Affairs Hall and temporarily left the clan for 2 months. Taoran spent some time in solitary confinement at Tianjian Peak. One day a month later, Lu Yun sensed something and set up a thunder formation for her using thunderstones. Thunder exploded, and the entire peak was filled with extremely abundant thunder energy. The golden elixir rotates at high speed with spiritual energy and is quickly absorbed. After a day and a night, the color of the golden elixir becomes more pure and round, and Yun 11's cultivation has reached the golden elixir perfection. Throughout the sky, thunder spirit energy continued to pour down, pouring like a waterfall towards the mountain top where Yun 11 was. Yan Yan and Renping were both alarmed. Looking at the gathering place of spiritual energy, they became jealous. The gap between them and their senior sister is even wider. After another week of consolidation, Taoran finally came out of seclusion. She couldn't let Yun 11 stay in seclusion forever, so it was time to show her face. Good. Liu Yun observed her and saw that her cultivation was very stable. He nodded with a smile and gave her another gift. The restrictions at Yongzi Peak were lifted, and Renping and Yan Yan ran quickly to see their senior sister whom they had not seen for a long time. Especially Renping, he hasn't seen Yun 11 for a year. After organizing a large basket of thoughts about Yun 11, after confirming Yun 11's cultivation level, I couldn't say a single word out of thousands of words. Senior sister is already 2 steps higher than me, how can I catch up? Unless, senior sister is willing to take the initiative to stop, or senior sister is gone. Senior sister, long time no see. How did you make such rapid progress? Renping said softly. After injuring my soul, I was forced into a desperate situation. If I didn't work hard, I would be a useless person. I could only use my cultivation to make up for the damage to my soul. With a desperate move, my cultivation improved rapidly. And after taking a step forward, even the injury to the soul is half healed. Taoran talked nonsense seriously. Anyway, there is no way to find out. It was impossible for her to tell about the incense burner. If they are envious, they can kill themselves and learn from her, right? Yun 11's further news once again spread throughout the King Yun sect. This time, Yun 11's limelight overshadowed the recent genius Tao Buran. Amazing. Look, geniuses are geniuses, and nothing can hinder their progress. The entire sect is encouraged again. The next day, Yun 11 left. Going out for training her excuse. Taoran said goodbye to his master, junior brothers and sisters, and just like in the plot, he left the sect directly. Of course, she just walked around the city a few times, and after making sure that no one was following her, she changed herself into an ordinary King Yun sect monk in a Liu Yun property, and quietly returned to the sect, continuing to play Tao. Otherwise, after another 3 months of Taoran's lifestyle, Taoran stopped. She can no longer strive for cultivation. 2 years later, she will go to that secret place again. If things go wrong and the baby is born early, she won't be able to go. Fortunately, she found some other fun. After she stopped practicing as a parasite for a few days, she couldn't stay any longer and wandered around the mountain. That day, when she ran to Nianbai's eldest apprentice, her senior brother Zhang Hao had just drawn a talisman with sweat all over his head. What kind of talisman is this? Taoran took one in his hand. Throw it out and you'll find out, won't you? Zhang Hao ignored her, turned around and left. Taoran hummed, the eldest brother himself didn't care, why was she worried? She threw it away. He never expected that it was actually a powerful explosive talisman. Taoran used an amulet, but was still burned to death. Zhang Hao suddenly appeared and circled around her and the nearly 10-foot deep pit on the ground several times, and then praised her endlessly. Only then did Taoran realize that he was being used as a test subject. No wonder this guy didn't feel any distress at all, so he turned around and ran away. The previous explosive talisman was not powerful enough, so I improved it. Junior sister, you came at a good time, so. He chuckled. Don't be angry with senior brother. Just wait. I will go to master to complain. Don't say goodbye. Master, he has a lot of things to do, don't disturb him. Who knows, now in front of the master, junior sister has the most respect, and even junior brother Lu Rui has stepped aside. You have half of the credit for these blasting talismans. I will give you 10 of them after my senior brother draws them. As you can see, one of them is so powerful. If you throw it down, even the nascent soul cultivator can eat a pot of it. Indeed. This senior brother, who hated practicing the most, relied on drawing talismans to refine elixirs, and he actually cultivated to the nascent soul. I heard that he was even better at fighting, relying almost entirely on casting talismans one by one. No matter how strong his opponent was or how many ants killed the elephant, few people could get an advantage from him. The talisman is really good. Teaching people how to fish is worse than teaching them how to fish. Senior brother, please teach me how to draw talismans. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 433. It's rare for a junior brother or sister to be interested in what he likes, so Zhang Hao is very happy. Then I thought that this junior sister was Lei Lingen. How rare it was. Lai Lingen monks are generally very capable in battle. Who would waste energy on something that requires patience like drawing talismans? So the opportunity is rare. He has long wanted to study various thunderstorm talismans, but it is difficult for his fire spirit root to guide and control thunder power. Anyway, he has never succeeded even once. But now it works. He has already begun to think about whether the blasting talisman just now can be used to guide thunder. Isn't that more exciting? Zhang Hao, who had many ideas at once, was instantly excited. Tao Ran was dumbfounded as he saw a machine appear in front of him, with talisman paper made of various materials, wolf hair pens, crane feather pens, eagle feather pens, and several kinds of cinnabar of different qualities. Junior sister, senior brother must teach you well. As long as you are willing to learn, you can take any of the talismans here from senior brother. Afterwards, Tao Ran was pinned down and spent a day learning how to draw talismans. From that day on, Tao Ran spent time with Zhang Hao. In fact, this is what Tao Ran has been thinking about. In this world of cultivating immortals, apart from strengthening the soul and the ancestors guess that the wood spirit in the magic vine may be extracted, what else can be brought to the real world? In the real world, spiritual energy is meager, so no matter how many spells you learn and how good you are, it may be difficult to practice them. Refining alchemy and refining weapons is also troublesome. It seems that the easiest and most feasible way is to draw talismans. Because of this, she came to Zhang Hao. Tao Ran studied acting and has a strong concentration ability. So after studying for a day and scrapping dozens of talisman papers, she finally drew a basic talisman. Anyway, she was not in a hurry to improve her cultivation, so she just studied for a while. A few days later, she arrived at Lu Rui's place. After asking Lu Rui to treat her to the best spiritual tea, she handed over the incense burner. This is for you to use for 1.5 years. After 1.5 years, your cultivation must not lag behind mine. She has asked the sect for instructions and wants to go out to practice. Nian Bai and Lu Yun both agreed and gave her 1.5 years. Zhang Hao also couldn't bear to part with her. After all, she had been able to draw the thunder talisman in the past 2 days. Don't worry, senior brother, I won't give up on drawing talismans when I go out to practice. When I come back, I will definitely show you the results. In this way, after the Yanwu Hall announced its decision, Tao Ran left the sect. However, before she left the city, she was stopped by someone. When he looked back, he saw that it was Renping, the god of plague. Junior sister, come together. Together, Tao Ran smiled. How come together? I just received a sect mission. It turned out that Renping's progress in cultivation was slow. He could no longer tolerate the status quo. Firstly, he wanted to stay as far away from Yan Yan as possible, and secondly, he heard that Tao was going down the mountain immediately. Last time, a good thing was ruined by Yan Yan. How could he not be sure of it this time? Third, before arriving in that secret realm 2 years later, he still has something else to do. Junior sister, my mission schedule is very flexible, so we can take care of you together. Tao Ran smiled and said nothing. She didn't accept or refuse, leaving him with a little hope, because she hadn't figured out how to face this guy. However, Tao Ran soon couldn't stand the way this guy pretended to be affectionate. Not long after entering Fangxi, Renping could no longer find Tao Ran. She only left him a message asking him to treat Yan Yan well. Renping was so angry that he stomped on the spot and searched around. He had no idea where Tao was and could only go about his own tasks. But he had no idea that at this moment, Tao Ran changed his appearance, pretending to be a casual cultivator, and followed him from a distance. Tao Ran had no goal in the first place, so he simply followed Renping. His sect mission was quickly completed, but he still kept heading east without looking back. This made Tao Ran more and more curious, thinking that something was wrong with him. At this time, Tao Ran, under the cover of ice muscle refining and elixirs, had a simple face, dark skin, and stocky figure. He was completely different from the previous two images, and there was no need to worry about being recognized by anyone. Tao Ran's cultivation level is higher than that of Renping, so there is no need to worry about Renping discovering her. Her guess was correct. Because Renping didn't have any delays along the way and was very purposeful, he drove eastward for 4 days and was already out of the jurisdiction of Qingyun sect. In a place called Chaoyang City, Renping stopped. He stayed at the inn. Tao Ran had money and successfully acquired the upper room opposite his guest room. Renping, who had been staying inside the house, went out at dusk the next day. He put on a curtain hat and went to a casino. After waiting at the door for a while, a sedan came. From a distance, he bowed respectfully and bowed. The person in the sedan who came down was also wearing a curtain hat. The moment she raised the brim of her hat to greet Renping, Tao Ran saw her face clearly. Unexpectedly, that person was Hong Ling. Come all the way to meet? Not really. And who will we meet at the casino? When two people meet, they commit adultery or robbery. Tao Ran followed the casino. Those two people were not seen in the huge casino. So, is there any hidden space in this casino? Someone saw that she was just looking around and not gambling, so they came up to her ear and asked softly, "Girl, do you want a token?" Token? What for? What kind of token do you have? There are silver and copper ones. The auction is about to start. You can count them cheaper for girls. Auctions. Hey, that's interesting. It's also quite mysterious. But there are also scalpers in this world of immortality. Silver, copper, and gold. You only have silver and bronze orders. Girl, you want a golden token? Scalper was surprised. Although Jin Ling said that the treatment and privacy are better, it requires capital verification, which I don't have here. Girl, don't waste it, why not? Sorry, Tao Ran spoke louder. I just want the golden order. If Hong Ling participates in the auction, given her posture and pomp, she will at least get a gold order. Sure enough, the waiter who was greeting everyone in the casino immediately came up to him after hearing this. Girl, do you want a gold token? Yes, Tao Ran saw that the waiter's cultivation level was at least in the late stage of Jindan, and he thought that this auction would probably be of high quality. If she hadn't followed, how could she have encountered a place like this? Girl, take a step to speak. The waiter led Tao Ran aside as he walked. As for Jin Ling, if the girl doesn't have an introducer, she needs to verify her capital to make sure she has at least 100,000 high-grade spiritual stones. Does she know that? This way, girl, please. In the back room, there was a steward. Tao Ran couldn't see his cultivation level, so he was at least nascent soul. Tao Ran opened the spirit stone bag, and when the other party checked it with his consciousness, he immediately handed a heavy golden token into Tao Ran's hand. Well, what she lacks most is spiritual stones. When he came out of the secret realm, the sect rewarded him with 100,000. Jianzong lost 100,000 yuan, Yun 11 already had savings, and Lu Rui got more than 20,000 yuan that time. She has a total of almost 300,000 high-grade spiritual stones. This time when she went out, she originally planned to buy some powerful souls and spiritual objects similar to thunder fruit, so she brought a lot of spiritual stones. There were 200,000 in the bag just now. The steward opened the door and said, Jin Ling's private passage is here, please, girl. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 434. Beyond the passage is a secret room. After entering, Taoran suddenly wanted to laugh. Originally, she thought that even though she followed them to the casino, she might not be able to catch up with Hongling and Renping. Unexpectedly, those two people are still there. Miss Hongling first felt that the mask provided to her by the auction house was not good looking, and then she felt that the number 4 of the private room C area assigned to her was not auspicious enough, so she had to pick and choose until now. When Taoran arrived, Hongling had already chosen a red mask, and Renping followed her respectfully like a slave, putting a black mask on his face. Seeing someone come in again, this time Hongling immediately picked the room number 3 in District D from the waiter's hand and left. Taoran didn't choose, and chose a mask with a green face, fangs, and a fierce look. The mask is good. After wearing it, it can block out any outsider's spiritual prying eyes, and it can't reveal my cultivation level at all. In addition to masks, casinos also provide cloaks that can be worn to hide one's appearance. Taoran chose a cloak and randomly asked for a room number. At first glance, it's number 5 in area A. After following the waiter who led the way through the passage, I discovered that this place is a unique place. There is indeed a hidden space in the casino. And this space is at least 100 times larger than the casino. Like a stage, there is a round stage in the middle, surrounded by stands and private rooms. As the token levels vary, so do the locations. The bronze order is an ordinary seat that is exposed to everyone. Silver order is the grandstand area. The golden order is a private room. The private room is large, has everything you need, and has plenty of energy. You can eat, drink, and rest. There is also a stack of auction introductions. Taoran flipped through the auction items and found that there was nothing she wanted for the time being, so she sat down with peace of mind, simply laid out the talisman paper and started drawing talismans. The auction begins. 2 hours later, she made 2 moves and bought a box of spiritual herbs that nourished the soul. The seller was very responsible. As soon as she took the photo, the spiritual grass was sent for inspection, and then the money was cleared. During the communication with the waiter, she also learned that this is a private auction house that has existed for many years. It often has good products and has a high reputation. It also does a good job in privacy, so there is no need to worry about information leakage. Number 3 in District D, which is the room where Hongling is located, has also been bid several times. Every time they had something of interest, Taoran would pay special attention to it. Those items are all needed for ice spirit root or sword cultivation. It's useless for Taoran to come. But that doesn't stop her from causing trouble. For example, a group of ice soul stones that are extremely pure and extremely useful to ice spiritual root monks could be obtained with only 10,000 high-grade spiritual stone red caltrops. But Taoran understood Hongling's temperament. That eldest lady never gives up until she achieves her goal. If someone competes with her, she will fight to the end. So, after Taoran deliberately raised the price several times, Hongling unexpectedly paid twice the price to get the set of ice soul stones. After doing this 3 times, Hongling was tricked many times for no apparent reason. The waiter also knocked on Taoran's door and said that a distinguished guest in room 3 of District D was invited. No, crazy. If you act like a eldest lady when you are away from home, you will end up dead one day. However, Taoran also raised his eyebrows. Hongling seemed a little anxious. Could it be that there is a baby she wants later? Or is her spiritual stone almost at the bottom? Yes, if you count on your fingers, Hongling has spent at least nearly 70,000 high-grade spiritual stones. After hearing what happened, Jianzong banned her for 3 years. In order to show his attitude, Jianzong didn't hide the matter at all. Therefore, old man Ji Yuan would definitely not let her go out to destroy her decision. This time, Hongling probably went out secretly without telling her father and master. This can be seen from the fact that she sat in a sedan chair, wore a curtain hat, and did not carry out the sword sect when she was dissatisfied with her room number. So Taoran guessed that what Hongling was carrying was private money. Even if he is the head's daughter, hundreds of thousands of high-grade spiritual stones are still a large sum of money. Now that I have spent nearly twice as much money, it is inevitable that I will be stretched thin. Another half an hour later, another bid was made for room number 3 in District D. This time, Taoran cheered up. What they were bidding on was a pair of mother-son soul stones. This is a treasure born and raised in a high-level secret realm. The two soul stones are as responsive as blood-related mother and son. The auction house conducted a test on the spot. One person took the child stone and hid it somewhere in the field. The host, who was carrying the mother stone, quickly found the location of the child stone under the guidance of the mother stone. Therefore, this pair of mother and son stones are really good for tracking down people. At this moment, the bidding price for the mother-child stone has reached 20,000 high-grade spiritual stones. Hongling is almost determined to get the mother stone. No matter who called the price, they all raised the price within a breath. Actually, Taoran didn't really want this thing. But she subconsciously felt that the auction was coming to an end, and if she didn't get the pair of mother and child stones, these things would most likely be used against her in the future. Well, it might be Yun 11, or it might be Tao Buran. She thought that the crucial secret realm in the plot was coming soon. Yan Yan and Ren Ping did not have wood spirits this time. If they wanted to deal with Yun 11, they would definitely have to work harder. If I were used by them, wouldn't I be discovered wherever I go? In this way, opportunities are rare and easy to be plotted. Moreover, with his current dual identity, if he is targeted, he will be exposed within a few days. If she thought about it this way, she had to take down these mother and child stones. Taoran was not in a hurry, just waiting for interested people to increase the price. Her attention was on Hongling and the others. Soon, Hongling and the others started to add from 3,000 to 1,001. There are fewer and fewer competitors. After Hongling Fang increased its price by another 800, no one raised the price again. At this time, the bidding price has reached 33,000 high-grade spiritual stones. The monk in charge of the auction on the stage had already asked twice, but still no one raised the price, so Taoran gave the signal to continue. Number 5 in Area A, 38,000 spiritual stones. She directly added 5,000. At this time, in room number 3 of District D, Hongling started clapping the case. It's Area A number 5 again. Who is in that room? Are you deliberately going against me? Hongling doubted for a moment. Could it be that her father was eyeing her and was deliberately teaching her a lesson? Then should we add more? Ren Ping asked weakly. How many spirit stones do you have left? Hongling asked with a raised eyebrow. I am not favored in the sect, and I have no family support. This time I go out with only a few thousand high-grade spiritual stones. Ren Ping is really smart. Since he hangs out with a rich woman, he won't spend any money. Own money. Then add 1,000 more and see how it goes. The price came to 39,000. But as soon as the price was quoted, number 5, District A, over there, added another 3,000. Already 42,000. Hongling bit her lip, feeling terrified. My psychological price has been reached, but the other party has just made a move. Looking at the price increase momentum, it is obvious that there is still a lot of room. She had already asked someone to look at the valuation of this mother-child stone, and it was only 40,000 yuan at most. Area A number 5 ruined many of her good deeds today. She had already spent tens of thousands more for this, and it was natural for her to think of this, but she had no money. 43,000, she gritted her teeth. But this time, the opponent directly increased it to 46,000. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 435. 46,000, already exceeded the total number of spirit stones Hong Ling had at this moment. She came here with her target in mind, and she only prepared a total of 110,000 spirit stones. She was grounded, and her father not only banned her expenses, but also took away several storage rings from her, which made her spend a long time scraping together money and borrowing a lot from her senior brother to get this spiritual stone. I thought it was more than enough, but I didn't expect to be so unlucky recently that I would run into the god of plague wherever I went. Then what kind of nemesis is in Jiaolai? Why is he trying to steal everything from me? He must be the one who takes advantage of him, right? Is he just trying to play? It's the same as the previous times. He doesn't really want it, he's just teasing and causing trouble. Renping felt that he had revealed the truth. You're right. Hong Ling tried to increase the price again. The other party did not hesitate and raised the price to 50,000. 50,000 high-grade spiritual stones. Anyway, even if Renping's spiritual stones were added, they couldn't afford it. Hong Ling gave up and laughed instead. Why don't you let number 5 from District A take the advantage this time? If he wants to cause trouble, you should let him suffer the consequences. The other party will definitely not be able to digest it, and then he will pick up the leak again. Hong Ling gave up, and the mother-child soul stones came into Taoran's hands for 50,000. Hong Ling called Renping. You go to number 5, District A. The other party must not have expected that I suddenly stopped raising the price. Now that he has been taken advantage of, he will definitely not want the soul stone. Go and ask him whether he will sell the 35,000 soul stones. If it's too little, give him up to 40,000. If he refuses, you can wait at the door and follow him to see who he is. Go ahead and keep in touch at any time. She wanted to see who was so arrogant. Dare to cut her off. Renping was very obedient and rushed to area number 5 immediately. Area is on the other side, some distance away. He was slightly uneasy. The person in A and 5 is clearly making things difficult for him. Will he talk to him nicely? Hong Ling has a bad temper and must have many enemies. This time I'm afraid someone is deliberately seeking revenge. When he came forward, he was regarded as a petty one, and it would be troublesome for others to find out his identity. What kind of thing is it that he hangs out with Hong Ling and spreads the word to the sect? How will I explain it to Master then? Renping came to area cautiously. He repeatedly thought about his words, and he must be more respectful. But he never expected that there was no one guarding Jiao outside, and no one answered when he knocked on Jiao's door. He called the waiter and was told that there was no one in room A and 5. He didn't believe it. Push the door open and enter. But no, the private room was empty. The distinguished guests here have already left, the waiter said. Is this distinguished guest a man or a woman? What is his cultivation level? What is his appearance? Do you recognize him? Can you show him his appearance in disguise? Renping was a little flustered. It seems that they still guessed wrong. Not only did the other party really want the soul stone, but he also escaped from under their noses. They were tricked, but they didn't even know who their enemy was. No comment, the waiter frowned slightly and asked Renping to leave. Renping returned without success. Taoran left quickly after getting the mother-child soul stone. She also gave the waiter 100 middle-grade spiritual stones as a reward. When Hong Ling and Renping came out of the casino angrily, where could they find the person who was making things difficult for them? She went to Jiao to check it out and went to the shopkeeper herself, but she didn't get any information. If she hadn't been afraid of getting into trouble, she would have almost used the name Sword Sect. Hong Ling's teeth were wrong. Just as he was about to get into the sedan chair, he was surrounded by people who had gathered. She suddenly heard someone shouting, the most beautiful woman in the sword sect, Fairy Hongling, is here. Afterwards, the crowd was full of voices like this. The name of the sword sect is well known, and Fairy Hongling is a stunning beauty in the world of cultivation. Who doesn't want to take a look at it and feast their eyes? Moreover, I just heard that Fairy Hongling is going to compete in a competition today to find a bride. Who doesn't want to try their luck? As a result, the entire road was packed with monks who gathered. The fairy is so beautiful. Fairy, look at me. So this is Fairy Hongling. Fairy, I once had a relationship with you and the head of the sword section. Do you still remember me? Fairy, where is the arena? Fairy, besides the competition, do you have any other requirements? Fairy, are you really going to get married as long as you win? Is your father here? The chattering voices drove Hongling crazy. WTF? What are you talking about? Her curtain was lifted off by someone's magic, and now her face was exposed to everyone. Panic was replaced by anger in an instant. Yes, she had been wearing a curtain hat, she had been riding in a sedan earlier, and she had been wearing a mask the entire time she entered the auction house. How could others know she was Hongling? Was it the person from A5 who made things difficult for me? But how did that person know that he was attending the auction? In the sword sect, there was only one senior brother who knew that she had left the section. The senior brother personally took her away under the cover of thick fog, so it was impossible for anyone to discover her. Could it be? Hongling looked at Renping beside her. Half of the reason why she went out this time was because Renping was looking for her. Only Renping knew that she would come to the auction house today. At this moment, Renping Zheng stepped forward, pointed at everyone, and warned everyone not to talk nonsense and leave quickly. He then called the auction house guards to come over to maintain order, and also took out one of his cloaks and handed it over. Fairy, cover up quickly. Hongling was used to being admired by others, and it was hard not to wonder whether Renping deliberately caused this incident. While playing a hero to save the beauty, making himself burst into tears of gratitude, he also made a done deal and deliberately let everyone see the two of them together. At the same time, do you want to bind her and their reputations with this, and become the quick son-in-law of the sword sect? The more Hongling thought about it, the more certain she became. Their Jian sect also had spies in the Qingyun section. She had known for a long time that Renping was very unpopular with the Qingyun section. Although he was nominally a disciple of Lu Yun, in reality he was not favored by Lu Yun. This Renping probably also wants to find a way out. And he is not his best shortcut? The more Hongling thought about it, the more annoyed she became. In a rage, she directly gathered her ice palm and slapped Renping away. In addition to venting hatred, it is also in full view of everyone. Hurry up and clear your relationship with Renping. There's no way he can take advantage of this. There is a huge difference in cultivation between Renping and her. How can they bear it? Not to mention in a defenseless state. His heart tingled, his internal organs trembled instantly, and his whole body felt paralyzed by the ice aura. Renping was in a hurry to turn around his spiritual energy, but his body couldn't bear it, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. At the same time, the whole person who flew out also hit the crowd heavily. Looking at Hongling again, he had already taken advantage of everyone's attention being attracted by Renping and ran away quickly with his sword. On the second floor of the tea house opposite the casino, Tao Ran saw the whole scene with his eyes. Tisk tisk. This consequence was something she didn't expect. She really didn't do anything. It's just two sentences spread, one true and one false. The results of it? If Hongling can no longer hide it from her and secretly uncovers the story of Jianzong, she will be punished by Jianzong again. Renping's attempt to seek refuge with Hongling failed, and while suffering Weavu's disaster, there was no guarantee that Hongling would not continue to liquidate him. The only reason to blame is that the alliance between these two people was too fragile and could easily be broken with one blow. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 436. Renping was injured and stranded in Chaoyang City. He didn't go out much. After he was injured by Hongling and fell to the ground, almost no one recognized him. Therefore he was not exposed. Tao Ran stared at him secretly and found that someone came to visit him the next day. A man in a black cloak. That man's cultivation was unfathomable, and he even placed multiple layers of restrictions on Ren's bungalow. Tao Ran didn't dare to act rashly even if he couldn't spy on him, and he didn't even dare to release his spiritual consciousness. That day, Renping was taken away by a mysterious man. When Tao Ran followed him out, there was only a faint trace of light in the sky. Renping was indeed not a simple person. Tao Ran had nowhere to go, so he started traveling around. In the real world, she has never traveled well in her whole life. She can see the great rivers and mountains. She cherishes the opportunity now. When flying with a sword, you can go and stop when you want, which is very comfortable. When you are tired from walking, find a place with beautiful mountains and clear waters or rich products to stop and rest. Sometimes you can even draw a sword to help and save lives and injuries. If you have nothing to do at night, just think about life and draw symbols with the abundant aura under the moonlight. Recently, she also found a way to make pocket money. She sold all the low-grade and medium-grade talismans she drew and exchanged them for a lot of spiritual stones. Her success rate in drawing talismans is getting higher and higher. After practice makes perfect, most of the talismans she draws are mid-level or above. She found that the drawing symbols were very good. This is a careful job that requires extremely high concentration and control, which is of great benefit to powerful souls. She secretly made up her mind to continue painting the talisman. Time flies. 1.5 years passed in a blink of an eye. Tao Ran returned to the Qingyun sect, assuming the identity of Tao Buran. At this time, Lu Rui's cultivation level has also reached the golden elixir grade perfection. Tao Ran was very happy. After a miserable performance at Lu Rui's place, she got a lot of good food and drink. Tao Ran went to find his third senior brother again and took out the mother-child soul stone that he had bought with a lot of money. Senior brother, do me a favor. Help me refine these pair of soul stones. Knowing that Tao would return to the clan, her head suddenly became lively. For 3 days, there was an endless stream of people coming. That day, Renping also came. How are you doing, senior brother? Tao Ran smiled at him. Looking up and down, he found that Renping was still at the same level of cultivation, worse than in his previous life. Although she was away from home, she was often in contact with Lu Rui. She knew that Renping did not return to the clan until half a year later. During that time, he should have been recuperating somewhere because he was afraid that Lu Yun would find out that he was injured by ice spiritual energy. Senior brothers are all well. Junior sister is fine too, right? Senior brother, when I left the sect last time, due to some reasons, I had a bad attitude towards my senior brother. I have always been concerned about him and felt uneasy. Tao Ran took out a gift box. I bought this recently and gave it to my senior brother. Renping was overjoyed to see that he still had gifts. When he opened it, he saw that it was an alien defense stone with a magic circle carved into it. The alien void stone is rare and rarely found. When made into a defense stone, there is at least a half chance of neutralizing the opponent's attack. It is a good thing to inlaid with weapons or robes. This gift is too expensive. Just keep it. I'm not short of spiritual stones. Tao Ran said it lightly, and Renping felt sour again. Senior brother don't like it? No, junior sister gave it to me. Senior brother naturally likes it, but It's just that you don't get rewarded for your merits, right? Taoran bluntly stated what he was thinking. Senior brother, there is no need to be burdened. I have also given things to several other senior brothers. You have given me things before, haven't you? If you are still uneasy, you can give me something more. That's a good idea. Renping smiled happily. In the end, Taoran got a strange stone from Renping that was equivalent to the Kongming stone. It was not a loss at all, and she felt much better. Senior brother, please don't let junior sister Yan Yan know about the exchange of gifts between you and me. Taoran was still smiling. Otherwise, junior sister, she would be unhappy again. This matter has nothing to do with her. Renping heard another meaning and was elated for a moment. Senior brother, will you keep the defense stone I gave you? Well, of course, after senior brother returns, he will ask master to help embed it in the natal sword. Yes. Senior brother, drink tea. This is the good tea I bought this time. Try it. The smile in Taoran's eyes was endless. The child stone in the mother-child soul stone has been refined into the base of the Kongming stone, and Renping will never find it. Renping is a scumbag. All the troubles in his past life were caused by him. She had to keep a close eye on him. Renping was immersed in the joy of getting closer to his junior sister. He never thought that he had already lost his wife and lost his army. After making an appointment with his junior sister for tea tomorrow, he hurried back to Tianjian Peak and asked Lu Yun to help embed the Kongming stone, which had been prepared for defense, into the sword, intending to perform well in front of his junior sister tomorrow. Liu Yun carefully observed the Kongming stone. After hearing that it was given by Tao Oren, he calmly helped Renping get what he wanted. At the same time, he also silently helped the Kongming stone add more restrictions. That's fine. Renping has been acting weird several times, so bento is a precautionary measure. One day half a month later, Taoran was meditating when he suddenly felt the wings of his butterfly hairpin flutter. Her eyes shot open. She asked her third senior brother to embed the mother stone of the mother soul stone in a butterfly hairpin. Normally, she could sense Renping's location as long as she put her consciousness on the butterfly. But at that moment, the hairpin suddenly moved, and the connection seemed to be broken. Taoran held the butterfly hairpin in his hand and felt it carefully. Only then did I realize that the connection was not really broken, but had become weaker, so weak that it was only vaguely involved. Taoran was relieved. Obviously, it was not Renping who discovered something was wrong and cut off the connection between Zishi and the natal sword. But what is the reason? Other spaces, this is the only possibility. It's a secret realm. The secret realm of the sect. In the entire sect, the space in the secret realm is the most special. Renping entered the secret realm, and the space was different, so the induction was almost lost. To confirm his suspicion, Taoran immediately stepped out and headed straight for Tianjian Peak. Renping's peak was pitch black. She went to check and found out that Renping had just received a 20-day sect mission and left the sect 3 hours ago. 20 days? The time is almost right. Taoran immediately rushed to the secret realm. When he got there, he found that Lu Rui had already arrived. Arriving with her on her front and back legs was Nian Bai. It turned out that they had been fishing with magic vines since the last time Taoran deliberately released the news of hurting his soul, and since there were rumors that the spiritual energy of the secret forest was disordered and there were suspected monsters that would attack people. A formation is set up at the entrance to the secret realm, and if it is touched, they will receive the message. 3/4 of an hour ago, the formation was triggered and someone entered. A token is required to enter the secret realm. A monk only has one chance to enter. Normally, entry is during the day. In the middle of the night, someone apparently entered the secret realm without registering. It's Renping, Taoran said straightly. Where did he get the token? Lu Rui didn't know. The last time Yun 11 was able to enter for the second time, he used Yan Yan's token. And this Renping Jadan has entered the secret realm not long ago. Without the token, it is impossible for him to enter. It's either stealing or robbing, Taoran snorted. He was always the best at these two things. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 437. Taoran knew that Renping must be heading towards the wood spirit during his trip. In the plot, he already knew that Yan Yan had the magic vine in his hand, and saw Yun 11 being imprisoned by Yan Yan and the magic vine. From the beginning to the end, he used the magic vine to the maximum extent to achieve his goals. But this time, Yan Yan couldn't help, and it was difficult for him to improve his own cultivation. Conquering the magic vines was the most ideal way for him to get help at this time. Although the magic vine is of little use to him as a golden spiritual root cultivator, the secret realm of the highest level of golden elixir is about to be opened once every 50 years. If he can bring the magic vine with him, whether he is looking for opportunities or doing evil, he will definitely get twice the result with half the effort. So his trip is understandable. And if they can catch Renping knowing about the magic vine and going to find the magic vine with a clear goal, they can confirm that he is indeed involved with the demon section. From Taoran to Nianbai, everyone thought so. Master, we can't let the people of the demon sect know that the demon vine has been taken away by me a long time ago. Taoran couldn't sit still when he thought of this. Otherwise, the demon sect will soon investigate her. By then, how can the demon sect let her go? Someone must enter the secret realm. On the one hand, they will monitor and confirm Renping's whereabouts, and on the other hand, they will prevent Renping from looking for it. Lu Rui and Lu Yun, who had just arrived, nodded together. Master, Tao, don't you have a quota to enter the sect's secret realm that has never been used? Taoran asked with a cheeky smile. You think very quickly. Nianbai was speechless. This girl wants to enter the secret realm for the third time. Seems a bit unfair. However, this secret realm was created by the Grand Master, and she is liked by the Grand Master, so it doesn't seem to matter. Or, you can give up Tao Buran's place to senior brother. Taoran looked at Lu Rui. In fact, she didn't want to breathe the same air with Renping alone. Lu Rui owed her a favor and let him go. Lu Rui laughed angrily. What good thing is this? Just say it if you're afraid of being bored. However, I'm not Mulingan, so I'm afraid I can't deceive him. You guys go in together. Nianbai waved his hand. Yun 11's butterflies can target him, and the wood spirit energy can deceive him. Lu Rui, you are careful and can cooperate with your junior sister. If Renping has a clear purpose, let him see the power of the demon vine. In this way, Lu Rui inexplicably decided to take this trip to the secret realm. As soon as he entered the secret realm, Taoran's butterfly connected to Zishi again, which showed that Renping was indeed in the secret realm. The two followed the guidance and discovered, not surprisingly, that Renping was heading to a dense forest. The two of them followed Renping 10 miles away. Since both of them were much higher in cultivation than Renping, they were not worried that Renping would find any clues. It was very relaxing to stare at each other, and the two of them ate and drank several times together. Renping almost moved all the way to the southeast as fast as he could. Near the forest where the wood spirit energy was the strongest, he nervously set up a formation. Lu Rui quickly hung up the photojade. Renping took out a bottle and fired a small cane. The rattan was as thin and long as a bean sprout at first, and then began to grow rapidly. It was also at this moment that Taoran's sword shook violently, as if he felt some kind of involvement. The two looked at each other and knew that the guy had started. Renping's thing should be used to summon magic vines. Taoran directly used his thunder power to swing his sword. The sword in the hands is swift and honest. Grab it, the two said in unison. Taoran threw out several spiritual talismans. In an instant, the entire forest was filled with smoke, and he could not see his fingers. Lu Rui had already taken advantage of Ren Ping's formation before he could form it. He spotted the right position and rushed out, heading towards the cane in the formation. In less than a breath of time, the vine and bottle were already in Lu Rui's hands. But when Lu Rui broke out of the fog and lowered his head, he discovered that the vine that was full of life just now had withered into dry slivers. Wasted. How reckless. When Tao Ran saw this, he thought that since there was no evidence, there was no need to be polite. He simply activated the wood spirit energy knotted vines in the sword and attacked Ren Ping directly. In the mist, you don't have to look, the wood spirit energy can sense it. A vine net was formed instantly and tied up Ren Ping. Next, the two men dealt with this guy. It's a monster, isn't it? Do you need rules and regulations? Need a reason? Need logic? Do you need to be moral and polite? Why don't you just come wherever you want? Before Ren Ping could even breathe 100 breaths, he was beaten to the point of being knocked unconscious by the two of them. When Ren Ping woke up the next day, he found that the vines around him had dried up, and he panicked for a moment. Seeing that he was not only restrained, but also beaten until all his internal organs were seriously injured, he could only start the process of breaking free. But he finally managed to escape, and the same thing as yesterday happened again. The mist, vines, and trees all seemed alive. To be precise, it's as if they have become wise and have a brain, attacking themselves one after another. Vaguely, he did feel that the spiritual energy of this forest was modeled as everyone said, and when he was beaten, he felt severe pain like being injured by the sharp energy of a sword. In the next few days, Tao Ran and the two formed a formation on one side. The two of them ate, drank, and practiced in the formation. When they were tired, they would get up and stretch their muscles. For example, they would give Ren Ping a few blows when he was about to wake up to ensure that he couldn't leave and couldn't stand up. He was always trapped in the same place without even a piece of spiritual grass. If you don't get it, you can only let it be whipped, but you can't do anything. You have nowhere to escape and you can do nothing. Ren Ping had been beaten for several days, and he almost didn't want to wake up. He regretted it. He shouldn't have come. In the past few days, he had also experienced the pain of the rumor that senior sister Yun 11 was kneeling with tears streaming down her face when she left the secret realm. He thought that when he went out, he would probably be even more embarrassed than senior sister. He probably couldn't even kneel down. Senior sister is not lying. Everything the senior sister said is true. The ferocity of the forest spirits is evident. The senior sister who brought Yan Yan's spiritual ball was afraid that she would suffer a huge wave of attacks just like herself who carried the spiritual vine. Ren Ping was a little lucky that he could always recover from his internal injuries. And senior sister Yun 11 probably used thunder-based skills to anger the forest spirits even more, thus directly injuring her soul. He was extremely remorseful. Why were you incited? Come to this damn place? He is also anxious. If I go out with this kind of virtue, I still don't know what I will face. Ren Ping feels that in the past 2 years, his teeth have been choked by drinking water, and he has become so weak. Finally, after being beaten and tortured repeatedly, the 15 days finally came. The dying Ren Ping was finally ejected from the secret realm, and he couldn't help crying with joy. But a burst of bright light came. He finally saw clearly that standing under the light in front of him was the master's uncle. Just like when Yun 11 came out, the leader released a cloud of spiritual mist to cover the two of them. But what was different was that the pressure of his uncle's divine transformation had surged towards him like an overwhelming force. How did you come out of the secret realm? You'd better explain it clearly. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 438. Tao Ran and Lu Rui, who were ejected from the secret realm later, found Nian Bai and returned secretly. Renping had emphasized his testimony several times. Renping attributed his entry into the secret realm to coincidence. He gave an experience. Half a year ago, he led a team on a sect mission, and while encircling and suppressing a monster, he rescued a junior brother named Wei Mi, and Wei Min was grateful to him. More than half a month ago, junior brother Wei Min sent a jade box. In addition to the sect's secret realm token, there was also a letter inside. Wei Min repaid his kindness by giving him a token and giving him this opportunity in the secret realm. I took the jade box to look for junior brother Wei Min, but I couldn't find anyone. I definitely didn't lie about this. I have someone to prove it. Several disciples who were doing sect tasks with Renping agreed with their confessions and confirmed that senior brother Renping actually rescued Wei Min. The disciple who helped deliver the jade box to Wei Min more than half a month ago also said that he personally watched the jade box opened by senior brother Renping, and that it was indeed Wei Min's golden elixir secret realm token. In addition, Renping's residents also found Wei Min's letter, which clearly stated repaying kindness. It's also the disciples' fault. During the chat that day during the mission, everyone mentioned the matter of senior sister Yun 11 entering the secret realm instead of junior sister Yan Yan. At that time, the disciple was filled with righteous indignation and said that if there was a chance, he would definitely enter the secret realm again to see what was hurt. Senior sister, so much so that senior sister's soul was so seriously injured. Probably, junior brother Wei Min took notice of what he heard, and later gave up this opportunity to repay his kindness. Renping knelt down and explained with red eyes. Snort. He is not stupid. If he dares to sneak into the secret realm, why not make preparations first and find a suitable reason? The most he could do was conceal the truth, and he was so dedicated to his senior sister, how could the master blame him? In fact, after discovering that Renping entered the secret realm, Nian Bai was already checking to see who had received the token but had not entered the secret realm in the past few days. He has already found Wei Min. But this person disappeared from the sect. Further investigation revealed that Wei Min left the clan more than half a month ago on the pretext of doing a mission. His mission lasted only 5 days, but he has not returned yet. After searching his residence, we found that he had taken away almost all his personal belongings and left a message saying that he no longer wanted to practice and just wanted to live in peace, so I felt sorry for the sect and he left. In the past few decades, Nian Bai had someone check his information and found that both his parents were dead and he was an orphan. There was no way to check. All available information not only failed to prove that Renping was lying, but also confirmed the truth of what Renping said. Judging from this situation, if anyone has a problem, it can only be Wei Min, not Renping. I ask you, what did you do in the secret realm? Renping knew that he could not hide his virtue from the old man, so he simply confessed everything. Uncle, didn't I want to avenge my senior sister? So I went to that mysterious forest that was rumored to be weird. When I heard that a spirit was born there, I wanted to get rid of it, not only to vent my anger for my senior sister, but also to contribute to the section. To this end, the disciple specially set up a spirit gathering array and used demon grass as a lure, hoping to catch the spirit. But the disciple's skills were inferior to others. Not only did he fail, he was tortured for half a month. The disciple is incompetent, but the spirit monster is really powerful, and the golden elixir monk is definitely no match for it. I also ask my uncle to think of a way to eliminate the spirit monster for the long-term stability of the secret realm. Renping's words are almost impeccable. His testimony makes perfect sense. Nor did he conceal all his deeds. He even explained the formation he used and the demon vines he brought with him. It even matched what Tao Ran reported and what Lu Rui Liu Yingyu projected. They still couldn't prove that there was anything wrong with Renping, and there were no traces of magic power or demonic energy on Renping's body. Although they still doubted Renping, they could not accuse him unjustly. Renping was first put back to recover from his injuries. His injury was already serious, and after being injured by Nian Beiwei, it became even worse. He would definitely not recover for 3 to 5 months. Renping is your apprentice, what do you think? Nian Bai asked Lu Yun directly. I won't let him go, and I won't let him go. If he has failed the sect, I will clean up the section. Now that there is no evidence, it is better to stand still and fish for a big fish in the long run, using him as bait. Nian Bai nodded. He also knew that Yun 11 placed the Son of the Mother Soul Stone on Renping's sword. Since Renping was under control, it really didn't make much sense to kill them all. So should Lu Rui. Junior brother Renping is very popular in the section. Every time something happens to him, there will be people supporting and talking about it. When I just sent him back, many junior brothers and sisters who heard that he was injured had already arrived to visit him, and even more were there to deliver pills. Many. Dealing with him without reason will cause dissatisfaction among many fellow apprentices. Tao Ran nodded. This is also Renping's ability. He always treats people like a gentleman, never puts on airs when interacting with others, and is always kind and pleasant to everyone. In the plot, after Nian Bai died and Lu Yun left the clan, he was able to easily take over the position of acting head, which is inseparable from his daily efforts, good popularity and past personality. He had clearly hated Yun 11 to the core for a long time, but he could still pretend to be in a state of infatuation that moved most people in the section with his acting skills. In Tao Ran's world, he would definitely beat 90% of the actors, and it was unbeatable, the acting school of the little golden man. Since forcibly dealing with him will lead to criticism, let's treat him well, Tao Ran said. Same as before, what should we do? Let him regain some confidence, let him continue to play, and let him not be abandoned by his superiors because his use value is gone. It is more appropriate to deal with it after he reveals his secrets. This matter is settled like this. The secret realm of Jindan is about to open. Originally there were only 10 places, but in the last sect competition, the Qingyun sect was far ahead, and the Nian Bei clan secured 3 more places. The top 10 monks in the sect competition automatically occupy the secret realm quota. Although Yun 11 did not participate, her sect had enough points and automatically obtained a spot. Tao Ran looked at the drafted list, and in front of the 2 masters, she finally made the request she had been thinking about for a long time. Master, Tao Bo won the 5th place in the sect competition, which greatly increased the sect's prestige. Why is she not on the list? How could she not help herself fight for it? Master, Tao is your own disciple and has many supporters in the section. If she doesn't go, many people will be unconvinced. Lu Yun, you want to enter the secret realm as Tao Buran. Master, wouldn't it be better for me to enter the secret realm with a dual identity? Nian Bai and Lu Yun both stared at her. How? She still wants to play 2 roles? Is this an addiction? Could she really be a clone? It's not like she can get 2 opportunities by occupying 2 places. What a hassle. Tao Ran knew that the 2 masters were making trouble if they didn't refute immediately, so he quickly persuaded them. You 2 think about it, both Yun 11 and Tao Buran have offended many people. It is inevitable that there are people in the secret realm who want to take the opportunity to cause trouble. If I am false and true, I will not be easily plotted by others. This will be more convenient. I'm helping the sect obtain resources, right? Nian Bai, when the time comes, there will be eyes everywhere. How will you change your identity back and forth? There are too many loopholes, and they will definitely be exposed. Don't worry, Master, I won't be exposed. Tao Ran looked to his side. Lu Rui, who was beside him, suddenly felt a chill on his back. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 439. At this moment, Tao Ran was targeting Lu Rui. Senior brother, with your help and care, I will definitely not be exposed. Right. Lu Rui suddenly felt very tired. He is the first place winner in the sect competition, so during the trip to the secret realm, he will be the leader and conductor of the Qingyun sect team. When the junior sister's identity changes, he will definitely have to help cover up and deal with the aftermath. He will be the one who suffers the most. It's troublesome just thinking about it. At this moment, Nian Bai felt a little regretful. That day, why did he agree to let this girl play two roles? Did you even take the initiative to board her pirate ship? If she is exposed, the entire Qingyun sect will be unable to hold their heads up along with her and become a big joke in the world of cultivation. It is truly a pirate ship. Then Lu Rui, please take more care of Yun 11. Nian Bai didn't even ask Lu Rui for his opinion and just made the final decision. I also have a piece of ice for muscle training, take it. Although it's not as good as your junior sister's piece, it's no problem to fool the golden elixirs in the secret realm. When your junior sister is inconvenient, please help her more. What are you afraid of? What's the meaning? Just let him deal with the aftermath and let him pretend to be a woman? Why? Junior sister likes to act, why should she drag them into acting? No, why should she drag him into acting together? Give money? Doesn't he want to lose face? If word spreads, he will be disgraced, okay. Lu Rui's teeth were clattering, and the junior sister over there was still congratulating him, senior brother, you can train your muscles for free. That thing is a valuable treasure that has no market. You took advantage. Tao Ran chuckled again, don't worry, I won't make it difficult for you, let alone reveal your secret. Her smile grew brighter. After boarding the pirate ship, it all depends on you as the helmsman. Next, Nian Bai and Lu Yun talked about Ren Ping. Ren Ping has been working hard on sect tasks in the past 2 years, and has accumulated enough sect points. He has begged Lu Yun several times, just to get a place in the secret realm. It would seem to be against the rules not to give it at this time. I gave it but reluctantly. Give it, since Tao Ran wanted revenge, he naturally wanted to help Yun 11 stand up from where he fell. Let him go. I have a hunch that he will be jumping around there. If he is to be exposed, he must be there. Just like that, a list that is almost the same as the plot came out. 3 days later, Tao went into seclusion and announced that he wanted to make a breakthrough before the secret realm opened. A month later, Yun 11 returned to the sect. After almost 3 years, Tianjian Peak finally became lively. Yan Yan and Ren Ping, each a senior sister, gathered around Tao Ran, and they felt like a family. Who else would Tao Ran be afraid of when it comes to acting? Tianjian Peak was in harmony, full of singing and laughter. Ren Ping and Yan Yan finally realized that the long-lost senior sister was back. Even Lu Yun was often in a trance, feeling that he couldn't tell which side of Yun 11 was the real one. Ren Ping and Yan Yan started their performance in front of Tao Ran, because judging from the list currently circulating, their names were not on it. Only Yungzi can help them now. Such a thing could happen. Tao Ran looked aggrieved as he drank the top-quality spiritual tea that Yan Yan had kept secretly for many years. She asked Nian Bai to deliberately suppress Ren Ping's quota from announcing it first, just to get a favor and leave the illusion of a good senior sister to her junior brother. As for Yan Yan, her injury barely healed until last year. Naturally, her sect points task has not been completed yet. Although she had become much more honest in the past 2 years, Lu Yun became even more disappointed with her when he saw that she cared about nothing but love and love. Under this situation, instead of letting her waste the opportunity, Lu Yun might as well give this opportunity to others. So even though Yan Yan made it into the top 10 in the competition, her name was not on the list. Good senior sister, Please help us think of a solution. The two begged and begged, and even left many gifts for Yoon 11. You help us win the quota, and we will listen to you in everything from now on. In fact, they don't need to beg, let alone give gifts. Taoran will definitely find a way for them. She still has to take revenge. That secret realm must become their Shuro field. After hanging for 7 full days, she finally managed to get the job done for the two of them. At Yan Yan's place, Taoran said that he could find a way to use his own points to help her make up for the task points and relieve the master's anger. Yan Yan was overjoyed and stated that as long as it worked, she was willing to exchange spiritual stones for points. As a result, Taoran made a lot of money, and the two of them shed tears of gratitude. They said that after entering the secret realm, they would follow the senior sister's orders the whole time. Taoran smiled and said nothing. Time flies. The secret realm was about to open. Nian Bai personally led the team, and the group took a cloud boat to the secret realm 3,000 miles away. However, Tao was still nowhere to be seen until everyone got on the cloud boat. In this regard, Nian Bai's explanation was that her beloved disciple was in retreat at the most critical point, and Lu Yun would personally bring her there later, so that the time would not be missed. It wasn't until almost everyone entered the secret realm and saw that the secret realm was about to close that they saw a stream of light flying quickly from the clouds. Liu Yun signed up for his number and scolded Tao to hurry up and enter the secret realm. Tao Ran flashed past, clasped his fists at everyone outside the secret realm, and disappeared at the entrance of the secret realm at the last moment. But the Tao that everyone sees now is actually a puppet made by Nian Bai himself. Well, fake. Specially made for Tao Baran, the appearance and smell look exactly the same. The shorter the time she appears, the less likely people will find her. Without direct communication, even those transformed gods would never be able to detect any clues just by looking at them. That's why it was arranged that she arrived belatedly and only appeared for a breath. In the secret realm, everyone in King Yun sect was teleported to one place. After Lu Rui gave a few instructions, he announced that they could disperse. Tao Ran and Lu Rui walked together. Although Ren Ping really wanted to follow Yun 11, Lu Rui and Yun 11 were higher in cultivation than him. Even if they found something good, would they be able to share it with him? So he separated from Yun 11. Yan Yan followed Ren Ping closely. Ren Ping was still thinking about Tao's gentle treatment when he gave him a gift last time, and he really wanted to take his relationship to a further level in this secret realm. Recently, he felt more and more that Tao was better than his senior sister, whether it was resources or talent. If he could win over Tao, the effect would be better. So he had plans to change his target to Tao Oran. He had previously promised Fairy Hongling to deal with Yun 11 in the secret realm, so when he went back to see Hongling last time, Hongling gave him 2 good medicines. A set of Xiaoling powder with extraordinary effects. For people with cultivation levels below the level of God transformation, as long as they eat a little bit, it will be effective and they will not be able to use any spiritual power. There is also a set of medicines for men and women, allowing him to use them according to circumstances. He felt that it would be better to use these on other junior sisters. So, while Ren Ping was thinking about getting rid of Yan Yan, he looked around for Tao Oran. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 440. On the other side, Tao Ran and Lu Rui made an appointment to contact each other once a day and then left. In addition to their own affairs, they also have a mission, which is to keep an eye on Ren Ping and try to find out his relationship with the demon sect. The secret realm is open for 2 months, so there is only a long time to come. They knew that in the initial period of time, Ren Ping would not dare to act rashly when he was entangled by Yan Yan, and if he really colluded with the demon sect, he would not take action at the beginning when all the sects had not dispersed. So the two of them decided to focus on finding opportunities these days. Last time, All Yun 11's opportunities were stolen. This must not happen this time. Tao Ran started his busy life. While she quickly regained the opportunities in the plot according to Yun 11's memory, she also secretly observed the whereabouts of everyone in the secret realm. She was lucky enough to find a team from the demon sect. There happened to be one of her old enemies, the demon cultivator. In the plot, he conspired with Ren Ping to kill Yun 11 with magic powers, searched for Yun 11's soul, and even forced her to survive. However, in the end, she was attacked by Ren Ping and died together with Yun 11. The demon cultivator in that cave. He and Ren Ping Hang are in cahoots and deserve to die. Yun 11 remembered his name, Lu Tai. She used butterflies to sense Ren Ping's position at this moment. Very good, Ren Ping is far away from Lu Tai, and even goes against the grain. Guessing that the two of them wouldn't be able to get together within 10 days, she felt relieved. Feeling sad in his heart, Tao Ran also went to the cave where Yun 11 was trapped for 50 years and no one collected his body for 50 years in the plot. This time, she must make this place become a nightmare for Ren Ping and Yan Yan. In the plot, Yun 11 got a wooden sign. This opportunity was not fulfilled because of Yan Yan's request for help. Later, the wooden sign was snatched away by Ren Ping, and he received a kung fu inheritance, and his cultivation level immediately went up to the next level. How could you miss such a good opportunity? Tao Ran searched according to her memory, and she found a formation in the ruins. After a lot of trouble, she finally found the wooden sign easily. This wooden sign was obviously a pass to a certain space. Tao Ran wanted to go but was afraid of causing trouble. After sensing Ren Ping's location, he sent a message to Lu Rui asking him to follow Ren Ping for the time being. Senior brother, you can follow me with peace of mind. If I get the chance, I will never lose your share, at least half of it with you. She quickly received the message from Lu Rui. Lu Rui told her that he found out that a male cultivator from Jian Zone named Menu had been secretly asking about Tao Oran. He deliberately showed up dressed as Tao Oran, and found that the other man was not seeking revenge, but was talking to him. Made many strange remarks. He dumped people because he was afraid of being exposed. Lu Rui asked her to pay attention. If she saw Menu, she should inquire about it. Menu, I don't know him. From the sword sect? Have you seen it? Weird words. Tao Ran was confused and didn't bother to think anymore, so he took the wooden sign and began to search carefully around the ruins. She found clues at a wooden monument. It's not that the wooden monument is any different, but that since she received the guidance of wood spiritual energy, all wood has a completely different feeling to her. The aura of the wooden sign is simple and distant, exactly the same as the wooden tablet. She suddenly had a feeling that this wooden monument could be a tombstone, right? An ancestor's. After this idea came to her mind, she immediately observed her surroundings. Looking past the ruins, this is indeed a geomantic treasure, and judging from the location of the ruins, it does look like an array of ancient tombs. Maybe it was because he died and couldn't stop the enemies coming at him, so the destruction ended up like this. Tao Ran began to clean up the ruins. Almost a whole day later, the broken stone tablets that had been a mess on the ground finally returned to their respective places. Standing in the center, she took out the spirit wine and sprinkled it around. After thinking about it, she took out a few more spiritual foods and placed them on 6 plates. After bowing 3 more times, she placed the wooden sign into the middle gap of the wooden monument. The white light circulated, and she indeed entered another space. Then, she seemed to be dragged into an ancient battlefield. Good and evil fight each other, and blood flows like a river. On the left and right roads, the monks on both sides were waving to her, and they seemed to be free to join. She joined the Taoist team without hesitation and started fighting against the demonic sect. Everyone is trying their best. Tao Ran is infected and joins the fight without hesitation. After fighting day and night in darkness and darkness, the battle was finally won. The Taoist monks were all very satisfied and looked up to the sky with smiles. Some people feel that this battle is so hardy that they sit on the ground and drink. Some people burst into tears suddenly, not knowing whether it was because of sadness, rejoicing or venting. Tao Ran stood at a high place, looking at the crying and laughing people, and was momentarily at a loss. She looked around and saw ruins on all sides and devastation everywhere. Countless comrades and enemies who were killed and wounded lay there straight, patches of red spread out beneath them, and countless living lives were scattered in this place. Sadness starts from the bottom of my heart. At the same time, she also received news from a distance, saying that this world had been destroyed, so both Taoists and demons had given up on this world. Looking at the mountains and rivers, Tao Ran suddenly discovered that the ancient battlefield was located in this secret realm. Here, it had been abandoned. Artificial and proactive, because it is difficult to create value in a short period of time, and because it is considered a burden, it was abandoned by the entire human race. This place was divided and became a secret realm. So what? A wailing monk grabbed Tao Ran. Girl, so, being greedy, burning bridges, being indifferent and selfish will definitely lead to consequences. In the end, you will harm others and yourself, and you will be abandoned by heaven. Everything has its retribution, just like us. Do you hear me? Think about it, think about it. Abandoned by heaven? Retribution. Tao Ran's mind flashed and he caught something. Therefore, this world has also been abandoned, so there is no hope of ascension. I need to talk to old man Nianbai about this matter after I go out. Another monk who was toasting came to push away the crying male monk. Don't bully the new guy. He looked at Tao Ran and held out his empty wine glass. Tao Ran refilled the wine for him. He laughed and said that this place could only be opened if the time, place, and people were right. She was the only newcomer in the past 1,000 years, and the only one who had given them food and wine in the past 3,000 years. He said he was glad she chose to join them. They had nothing to offer her in return, they could only teach her some fighting moves and skills. Unlike the demon sect, as long as you join the battle, you can get the demon sect skills. Although that technique seems powerful, it can inspire the greatest evil in people's hearts. The whole person is swallowed up by the evil in his heart and eventually becomes a demon. So it is always good for people to be kind. Girl, you are still young, so you must keep your heart. When faced with a choice, you must never make the wrong choice. Tao Ran was still surprised that in the plot, Ren Ping had the opportunity to join a magic sect and the skills he obtained were also magic skills. Here she was shocked by these words again. No matter how you listen to it, you feel like you said this specifically to yourself. For example, I am warning myself to keep my heart, not to help others do evil, and not to join the same trend as Elizabeth. She wanted to ask something else, but the white light stung her eyes. When she opened her eyes again, she was still standing in the ruins, as if she had been in a dream.